Hey, what's going on, everybody? John W. Davis and Pavy here with the Spark Report. What's up, Pav? How you doing?
Man, how you feeling?
Feeling good.
The season's over.
Yeah.
I saw a picture that Eli posted. I think it was from like training camp. That was in like May.
Come a long way, right?
Come a long way.
Yeah.
Come a long way.
22-12, third place in the WNBA. And to get that record and to be down to 7 active players, I remember watching them practice with 7 players. Bro, it was so sorry. Yeah. And this was a long time. They went on the road like that. They signed like Carly. They had 8. And they had Elena Beard traveling with them. But that was rough.
But Elena was really pretty much like another coach all year.
Right. She was a coach. So that was really rough for them to make it through that stretch. So to go through a stretch like that and end up 5-2 when you're basically down to maybe 4 or 5 legit starters and 2 rookies, that's essentially what they had because Kalani was there, Marina was there, you had Chelsea, TRP, NECA, Shanae, but it's like you had players, but they did not have the depth to be playing against these other teams over that long of a stretch.
I will say that I think you brought the point up that I think that stretch actually helped them out a little bit though. Like I think the fact that they weren't all there and kind of like you got a chance to get some people some playing time and some valuable experience. Like you never know what you need to call on. Like you never know. Like I said, somebody tweak an ankle and it's like you don't want a situation in which people haven't been in this position before when it really matters. Like at least you want them to be able to draw from some moment early on in the season. Also, I think for Coach for Fish just having with a team of 12 people who all are capable of playing, I think not having some of their ease the transition along a little bit because you physically just could not put them in the game. So you had to roll with the 7 to 8 people so it wasn't as stressful on the rotations. You didn't have to like break any hearts early on because you literally just can't play.
Right.
So you had to break it. So I think it oddly helped them a little bit.
It did.
Probably brought them a little bit closer together as well.
Yeah, you never lost a player.
Yeah.
Because everybody was needed. And by the time you didn't need them, everybody was invested.
Yeah.
Everybody liked each other, and they were already a team at that point. Because, like, think about the last game. So you played against the Lynx, and you're like, oh, I want to get some minutes down. You close out. And who was out there?
The bench.
Yeah. Mabry and Brown. They were out there closing out. But you have to remember that these are championship caliber players on the NCAA level. They just got off playing each other for the national championship. Yeah. Okay? You got another player who's new to the team technically, Tierra Ruffin-Pratt. Where was she at last finals? Washington. And where were they at?
Finals.
They was in the finals. Then you look at the rest of this roster. Chelsea won the championship. NECA, Candace. So the only person, Elena Beard. So even Alexis Jones has won with the Lynx. So everybody but Shanae, but she has her sister and other people to lean on. And then Raquana. Or was Raquana with them?
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure if she was with them or not, but essentially every core player is a championship player for them.
Yeah. Everybody's won.
Either won one or played in one.
And if they haven't, they've still, for the most part, been around success. I think that even if you haven't won, I think it's important that you've had experience with success before. They don't really have anybody that, for the most part, that just isn't used to winning. For the most part, everybody's used to winning in some capacity. They're used to winning. And
it's great that you're talking about a 14 home game winning streak.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't lost in a long time.
Nah, like literally, they
ended up 15-2 at home.
Nah, literally, like I'll be doing
best home record in the league.
Yeah, like I'll be doing, the stuff like the game, and like I literally have not changed Sparks win in 3 months. I have not changed Sparks win. All I do is change the last name of the team that they beat. I ain't changed Sparks win in 3 months.
That's the song when they win. All I do is win, no matter what.
But I mean, that's important for one because to me, winning on the road anywhere is hard, but especially in WNBA because obviously traveling is the same. Also, they'll have like crazy schedules, like be in 3 cities in 7 days.
Yeah. Now they were 7-10 on the road, but
it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. Derek Fisher said it's not terrible. You said it's not terrible, and I will agree with both of y'all because there was only one team who had a home. Or not a home. One team who had a winning record on the road this whole season.
Washington.
And that was Washington. And they ended up 26-8.
And they didn't have many injuries either. Like Washington, Christy Tolliver was hurt. Deladon missed like a half.
Right.
But other than that, they nobody. I don't think anybody in the league dealt with the injuries that the Sparks.
I mean, they dealt with the same thing everybody deals with, players leaving for Eurobasket.
Yeah.
Because Emma Miesemann was gone. She plays on the Belgium team, I believe. But other than that, yeah.
Like you weren't dealing with the injury for them to have 7-8 players at certain times during the season, and for them to still come out here and win 7 games in a row and just go 7-10 in a row. I personally think that's commendable. I think that's commendable. That's not terrible, and especially taking care of your home court with 14 straight wins, 15-2 at home. I personally think that's commendable.
And the other thing I think about it is when you lose on the road. And then some of those losses come to a team like Dallas. You're not really going to play them. You're not going to see them in the playoffs. It's a young team. They're still developing. I won't say the loss doesn't matter, but
I mean, I also think that when you lose on the road, you have to like be around each other. So it's like it's like you get to persevere. Yeah. You actually get an opportunity to persevere firsthand.
Right.
And I think that those moments are important. Like even when they go to Washington and get destroyed, the fact that they still went out and had a team bonding experience, like nobody's pointing fingers like, oh, this is your fault. We lost because it's your fault.
Right.
Like they out, enjoying themselves, having, doing karaoke. That's one thing that I really that I talked about on like that. I want to commend them for just being a team. Like I covered the Clippers. I played sports. So when I walked in the locker room, no matter if they won by 30, they lost by 10, won by 2, won by 4, I never felt like the atmosphere changed.
Well, part of that is because they have bonds outside of basketball.
This is true.
Obviously, you have 2 sisters on the team. You have Candace Parker and Nneka, who have become sisters. You have Parker and Gray, who are like sisters. You have Jones and Brown, who went to school together at Baylor.
Yeah, but
you got connections.
Yeah, but see with that, you could have cliques. So like you could Nneka could click up with Shanae and Candace, and that's a clique. And then Alexis could click up with Kalani, and that's a clique. And then Marina could click up with Sydney, and that's a clique.
The big 3 is a clique.
Yes, it is, but I don't think anybody else is like separated. Like when I walk in the locker room, I feel like they're a team. Like I don't feel anybody is. I'm bigger than you. I'm over here. Even Candace being who Candace is, I don't feel like when you walk in the locker room, she's bigger than the team. I feel like Candace Parker, a member of the Sparks. I feel like Nneka, even her being the MVP, she's not bigger than the team. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you walk, like the first game I ever covered, right, was 2 days before Jimmy Butler got traded from the Timberwolves. When I walked in the locker room, I was like, yo, they have to trade Jimmy.
Right.
It was like all the old Bulls were in one side and everybody else was in the rest of the locker room. Nobody was talking besides the old Bulls. Me and D-Rose, Taj, Jimmy, and Luau. Everybody else didn't talk. I'm like, yo, they have to trade Jimmy. I walked in the locker room and it was like, yo, Jimmy's clearly like bigger than everybody else when you look in the locker room. Like, yo, they have to get him out of here. When I walked in the Sparks locker room, I always felt like it was a team. Like, again, no matter if they won by 10, lost by 10, won by 30, lost by 30, I never felt like I walked in and they had just got done pointing fingers at everybody and then let the media in. It just felt like it was consistent every day. And I think that has to go, some of the blame, not blame, but some of the credit has to go to Fish, but I think most of the credit has to go to the team.
Right. Well, they have vets. So you look at this team, there is the youngest players on the team are Vadiva, Mabry, Brown, Weiss, Jones. Everybody else has loads of WNBA experience. I mean, you're talking 5, 6, 8, 12, up to 14, 15 years experience. Yeah. So this is not a young team. So I think that makes a difference. All of these players have played multiple seasons overseas. So these are vets because it's almost like they literally play. A lot of them play 2 seasons a year.
Yeah.
So imagine having somebody like Elena Beard, who is a 15-year vet in the WNBA, but she's played. I don't think she really plays over there too much anymore. But let's just say she's played over there 8 seasons. That's like a 23-season vet.
23 seasons.
That's like Vince Carter.
It's like Vince Carter. Nah, it is. Like and one thing I think that we have to all remember with athletes and with any sport is that there's a human factor first, right? I think that when you come in the league, winning is not the most important thing off top, like just winning. I think you want, like, yeah, everybody wants to win, but I think when you first come in the league, it's like, I want to win, but this is how I want to win. So when you mention that you have veterans there, I think that they're all at the points in their careers where it's like, yo, we just want to win. I don't care how we have to win. I don't care who get the accolades. I don't care who get the numbers. We just want to somehow win.
Right. Because I felt like Candace Parker was having a selfless week, and then she ended up winning Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Because you don't see Candace Parker go out there and take too many shots. So if you talk about the game against the Sparks, or not against the Sparks, the game against the Storm, she only had 13 shots. 6 of 9 from the free throw line.
I mean, 13 shots is a decent amount of shots, though.
It's a decent amount,
but it's not. She's not chucking up shots. It's like,
but she's not Enrique.
Yeah. It's like she's not.
Anybody take 25 shots?
Yeah, like when you look at it, I think the only person who I consider shoot first is Raquana.
Right.
I think everybody else is more so like, and it's not to call her not a team player because she is a team player, but her job literally is to shoot the ball. Like if you ask Fish what Raquana's role is, he will tell you probably to shoot.
Yeah.
So she's the only person that I think is shoot first. Everybody else I think is a more team first, pass first type player.
Right.
So you're never going to see anybody really taking unnecessary shots.
And so if we talk about the playoffs, moving towards that, that's what you have to do. You have to be willing to do the next step. So the defense right now is good. To step that up,
they're actually, I looked it up, they're actually third in defense rating in the league.
So to step that up, the way you improve upon defense when you're already third in the league is rebound better.
Yes.
Okay? The way you improve upon an offense that we've seen score 102 points the other day is by making the extra pass.
Yes.
They're already passing. They already share.
Which they usually do. I have to commend them when I watch them play for the most part.
But they can get into the offense a little faster. It does get stagnant sometimes. You see them kind of stand around, and when you're just standing around, that's an opportunity to pass the ball.
I would like to see them start games faster. And I think that's one thing I like. I got a chance to ask Coach post game is that for the most part, they start games really slow.
Right.
Now they pick it up usually when Shanae and Sydney comes in, the bench comes in, it's like they come in with that extra added energy. But another fear I have headed to the playoffs in like a single game elimination game is you don't really have time to start slow.
Right.
Because the other team come out the gate, especially because they on the road, lowest seed, nothing to lose.
Right.
We come out the gate, we rushing, and you didn't kind of start it slow, and now you playing from behind the rest of the game trying to catch up. Now, I think that the Sparks have a great defensive team. I think they have shown the ability to be able to lock in for, like you say, 4, 5, 6 minutes at a time, but still, I don't want you playing from behind. I'd rather you get out, you get that 6-point lead, and then now they're playing from behind against a defense that's third in the league.
But in the second round, if you're talking about playing the Storm, the Lynx, or the Mercury, there's only 3 teams they can play, the 6th, 7th, and 8th seed, and that's their right as the 3rd seed, then you want to still keep it simple. Now, this is Derek Fisher's first opportunity to really have a week to game plan for one team.
But not even really a week. Really, you got a couple days. Really.
Well, you're right. Really, you got. You're right.
Days.
You don't have a week. You have a week off, but you
got 3 days.
That's true.
You got a week to game plan for yourself. Right. When it comes to the other team, you got 3 days. Really.
But that's how you're going to beat any of those teams is being the best version of yourself.
Of course.
If the Sparks do what the Sparks do, they will beat a 6th, 7th, or 8th seed.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what the 6th, 7th, or 8th seed does.
I have a question for you. Which matchup do you think is the most favorable, and which matchup do you think is the least favorable out of those 3 teams?
I think the most favorable is probably the Lynx.
You sure about that?
I'm sure about that, and the reason I say that is because the Lynx went home to Minnesota, and then now they're going to Seattle to play. Yeah. So that's a long travel right there. If somehow they get by Seattle, that's going to be an emotionally taxing game because it's hard to win in Seattle. Then they have to come down here. So they're going for 5, 6, 7 days. Then they play here. So that's why I say the Lynx. I don't think the Storm is the easiest. And I don't think the Mercury are.
See, I think the Storm are...
Just because they blew out the Storm, that's not a true representation of the Storm.
No, but here's why. Like when I look at any playoff type situation, I look at, do you have shot creators? I feel like with the loss of Brianna Stewart and with the loss of Sue Bird, they don't have many shot creators. Now, granted, they can get hot from three. They do shoot a lot of threes. Natasha Howard, she has a nice stroke. Quigley,
But in a single game elimination,
not a Quigley. Wickham, what's up?
But in a single game elimination, do you need shot creators or people who can make shots? Because they have people who can make shots.
I think at certain situations you also need shot creators. Because again, the Sparks have shown the ability to be able to lock down for 4 to 5 minutes.
I feel like Jewel Lloyd can get her own shot.
She can, but I just haven't seen evidence of it against the Sparks. I think that the other teams are to me, I think the worst matchup would be the Mercury. Reason being is because you have 2 All-Stars and then you have Diana. Like, what if Diana Taurasi just shows up and decides to be Diana Taurasi?
No, you don't want that.
What if she decides to be Diana Taurasi for one day?
If you want the most entertaining game,
it's
the Mercury.
It's the Mercury.
It's the Sparks Mercury.
But I don't think you really want to play them. I think you want to avoid them. And then my thing with Minnesota is what you said. The Sparks, they do rebound, but sometimes they have a tendency to not always rebound the best. And you have Sylvia Fowles out there. Like, she's a person who could realistically go for 20 and 20. She could go for 20 and 20 in one game.
She could, but they'd have to give her the ball.
See, that was the one thing. But I think in a single game elimination, I think you lean on your best players and you try to
So you're gonna tell me that Odyssey Sims is not gonna be out there trying to get the Sparks?
She
ain't gonna be passing the ball to Fowles like that.
She is, but again, the best way to get him is to beat him.
That's true.
It don't matter how many points you score. If you win, you get the last laugh.
It's personal for her though.
It is personal, but that's the thing. Do you want to win the game, or do you want to go on a solo mission?
I don't know.
If you want to win the game,
I assume they want to win the game.
If you want to win the game, you throw the ball on Sylvia Fowles, dump it in the post, because they were trying to front her. And as long as you make good entry passes to her,
those was buckets every time.
Yeah, it was buckets every time. I'm like, yo, they should just give her the ball 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
If the coach decides Sylvia my best player, give her the ball 20 times. Mm-hmm. And they have a more veteran laced team, and Minnesota doesn't give up, and they're very, very well coached. Like, even what impressed me was usually the Sparks end the half great. Mm-hmm. Against Minnesota, I thought the Sparks were on the way to having the usual Sparks half ending. Mm-hmm. They didn't. You saw the coach sent up 2 people to double team Chelsea, get the ball out of Chelsea's hands. We not gonna let her ISO and create, get the ball out of her hands. I forgot. I think Sydney ended up taking the last shot of the half, but they're very, very well coached. So I don't necessarily think, I feel you about the travel issue, but I don't necessarily think that's the best matchup.
Travel is undefeated in the WNBA.
Travel is undefeated. Travel,
it's
yes.
like Father Time. It's undefeated.
But again, I don't think the travel would be. Now, yes, you would be tired for being on the road for a week. But you play Wednesday. The next game is Sunday, so you get a day to travel and a day to rest.
Mm-hmm. And
so
then a day to practice.
Yeah, the rest, yes. But I would assume if you played what you play, you maybe will go to sleep, wake up, travel. The Seattle to LA flight ain't that long.
No.
It's like, what, 2-3 hours?
Well, that's more than that. That's far.
4? It's 4 hours in Seattle?
It's probably 4 hours.
Okay,
yeah.
so
and it's the whole West Coast.
Okay, fair. So 4 hours. Let's say you take off at noon. It's all in the same time zone. You're not switching time zones.
That's true.
So, let's say noon to 4, get in. Rest of the day, you can chill, sleep, whatever, rest.
But this is a game. This game on Sunday is going to start at noon.
At noon, but
so that's Central Time. That's 10 a.m. for the Lynx.
Yeah, but I think that they'll I think I don't think the travel.
It's hard to adjust the time zones, man. It really is.
But Central to Pacific isn't that bad.
It's only 2 time zones, but
it's not that bad.
It's not great.
It's not great, but it's not like you went from New York to LA. Now that's it's not that bad.
I wouldn't want to be the team to have to put the defending champions out. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't want to have to be the team to put out the Storm.
I feel you.
They still the defending champions until they lose.
They are.
Natasha Howard, you saw her in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
She was rolling a little bit.
She can shoot.
Jordan Canada.
Yeah.
UCLA product. Yeah. I mean, they have reason, of all these teams, they have reason to think that, oh, you know what? We might be able to get them.
I just think that
because they're not gonna lose by 34.
No, they're not. I just think that with them, it's if you can force them to get late in the shot clock, they don't really have because they don't really have anybody who can create their own shot and just manufacture a bucket. And I think that in these situations, in any type of playoff, which is why I think the Sparks will be so successful. When I look at the roster, you got Raquana can make something out of nothing. Chelsea can make something out of nothing. Candace can make something out of nothing. NECA can make something out of nothing. So we just named 4 shot creators who can manufacture a bucket. When I look at Seattle, they don't really have anybody who can manufacture a bucket. For the most part, all of their offense comes off from good offense.
And the other thing about it, and we can kind of move on past this, is all of these teams will have just played a game on Wednesday.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? All of those teams, even Seattle, will have to travel on Thursday just because they're home. They all have to travel, so you have an advantage in the second round. So it's good that they were able to make it into one of those top 4 seeds and get that opportunity.
Agreed.
And I also think it's good that they didn't end up with 4, with the possibility of having to play 5. Chicago.
I don't want to play Chicago. I don't.
Not in single. In a
not
series.
Single game elimination. No.
In a series, sure.
Series, sure. Single elimination. No. Do not want to play Chicago. No.
You think we got some time to talk about these WNBA awards?
Yeah, come on, let's do it.
Okay, so the main awards in the league are MVP.
Deladon. Stop there.
Okay.
Deladon.
We don't have to keep going.
NECA should get like 2 votes, but Deladon.
MVP.
Far and away, Deladon. Far and away.
Rookie of the year.
Nafisa.
I agree with you. I don't even want to get into their recap thing.
I'm not like I like literally.
If they want to do co-rookie, I said if they want to do. If they
we're
want
not
to do
doing co-rookie. Who was the All-Star? Who was the All-Star?
Nafisa Collier.
Give it to her. That's not a discussion. Like people trying to make it a discussion.
But she
now look.
But she scored a whole bunch of points at the end of the season.
Now last year in the
she had a 30% usage rate.
Last year in the NBA, I said it should have been co-rookie of the year between Trae Young and Luka Doncic. Reason being is Luka had a great first half. I thought Trae had a better second half. Both of the teams suck. Minnesota in the playoffs.
Right.
Nafisa has been with Maya Moore retiring. She's been called upon to perform.
Led the league in minutes.
She's been called upon to perform.
Led the league in minutes.
Like, bro, I saw her last game.
When's the last time a rookie led the league in minutes?
I don't know.
Ever?
I mean, it's probably happened at some point in time.
But
like,
not to my knowledge.
But, like, bro, I saw her last game. They had her guarding 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm.
She was guarding Candace one play and then, then spent 3 minutes on Chelsea.
Right. Doing jump balls against Shanae.
I'm like, she's all over the court.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you only value offense, then sure. But no, it's not a discussion. Like, people trying to make this a race. It's not a race. One lady was an all-star.
Right.
End of discussion.
But she was an all-star reserve.
Was she in the game? Do she have a jersey? Was she in Vegas?
Yeah. She did play because Wilson was out, though. That's how she got on the team.
Was she on the team?
Yes. Okay. All right. Defensive player of the year.
I actually think it should be NECA. She's not going to win it, but I think it should be NECA.
It's probably going to be Natasha Howard.
It's going to be Natasha Howard. She's going to win.
If not Natasha Howard, then Jonquel Jones.
No, it should be NECA. NECA, we looked it up. We sitting there looking at it. Defensive rating.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking like somebody who's voting, they're going to want to spread that stuff out. They're going to say, well, if you couldn't get MVP, and I don't know if you're going to be on all WNBA, then let's get you defensive player of the year.
Nah, it should be NECA. NECA. I mean, look, the Sparks are the third. Who are the 2 teams above them? That's
defensive rating.
Yeah, defensive rating. Who are the 2 teams above them? Let me look at where.
Probably, if I had to guess, I would guess Seattle is 1, and I would guess
Connecticut is behind them. Connecticut is 4th, and you said Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle is.
I would guess Seattle.
Seattle's 5th.
Okay.
So both of those teams you're talking about are with the other candidates are.
Maybe Dallas, since they hold teams at like 2 points, and they lose 3-2. So past Dallas, it's probably not them. So I got it up now. So the Aces had the best defensive record.
Okay.
95, Lynx, then Sparks, Storm, Sun. But I feel like that's a little misleading because if that's the case, then I would argue that the Sparks have one of the best defenses in the league.
I think the Sparks,
or if not, have the best defense in the league.
Yeah, I think the Sparks have the best defense in the league. I think the issue was half the team wasn't there to show they had the best defense in the league.
True.
Hard to play defense for 40 minutes with 7 people.
True.
But I think the Sparks are the best defensive team in the league. So I think that.
So if the Sparks are the best defensive team in the league, then you want NECA.
Yeah,
okay.
I think
the Storm are right close, so I'm gonna say they probably gonna go with Howard.
There was probably, but they shouldn't. But there was a game
because she almost led the league in steals too.
Yeah, but that don't always.
I know, but they like categories though. Because if you look across the board, you're like, oh, look how close she was to leading in steals. Look how close she was to leading in rebounds. Look how close she was to leading in blocks. That's what people do when they think of defensive player.
Yes, I know, but you got Nneka's 4th in rebounds. She's not gonna be on there in blocks. Like her defensive stats aren't as sexy as hers,
right?
But like when you could pull up the ratings and the win shares, that's when you see like the effect. Not granted. Natasha has a higher win share, but by like literally 0.2.
Okay, let's go past six women of the year. I think it's probably gonna be Dearica Hamby from the Aces.
Area powers.
Okay, most improved. I probably would give it to Hamby again. If you can give it to I'll probably give it to her again because you saw how good the Aces were when it was Hamby and Cambage or Hamby and Wilson and not Wilson and Cambage.
Both of them really shouldn't be out there playing together, but they're going to
have
play
to.
together.
Both number 1 picks. I mean, they have to.
Bill should really I think Bill is doing this thing.
You're not going to stagger them two.
Yeah, Bill is doing this thing where like he thinks he's still playing. He thinks like that still works.
If he still thought he was playing, he would be letting or encouraging Liz Cambage to shoot threes. Because Bill Lane Beer used to shoot threes from the Pistons.
He did shoot threes for the Pistons.
Cambage, when she set her record, 53 points, shot threes for the Wings.
Yeah, she did.
She has not shot many threes at all this year.
She has not
Maybe they're saving it for the playoffs. I don't know. But I think you probably go with Howard defensive because then that's what I'm saying. What would you rather be? Would you rather win Defensive Player of the Year or be first team All WNBA? What do you think would mean more to you?
Defensive Player of the Year.
Really?
Yeah.
It wouldn't mean more to be one of the top 5 players in the league?
Defensive Player of the Year. If I'm Defensive Player of the Year, how can you leave me off first team? It's a real question. It's not like it's 32 teams in the league.
Because Elena Beard. She was the back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year.
How many points was she scoring, though?
Like 4 or 5 points.
Exactly. Like that's like
you can be Defensive Player of the Year and not be All WNBA.
Yeah, but even yes, you can. But even in offensive win share,
because TRP is a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. Look, she's not going to tell me she's an All WNBA first team player.
I don't.
She's a starter.
Look, shout out TRP. TRP has been playing great defense all season.
Right.
But I don't think she should be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. I think Nneka. I think Nneka. Like, okay. Look, I think TRP plays a defense that the casual. This it's not to say her defense. She's been great defensively all season. That's why she's been.
But she is the defensive identity of this team.
I think it's Nneka.
I don't think so.
I think that TRP is just like you see it because she's the one pressing people up. But it's
right. That's an identity. Identities are seen.
I think it's Nneka though.
It's like, visual because it's like, well, if she's doing that, then I have to do this.
Yeah, but I think when you like hers is like if you just put it on and like don't look too deep, you'll see it. But like Nneka, when you really start just like, bro, that was a play.
But you know that's not how people vote.
I know, but that was a play this season. This is when I realized like, yo, like Nneka is a great defender, bro. Mm-hmm. I forgot who she was playing against. She pulled the chair out. Like she like bodied up and the girl tried to like put her weight on her. She literally just backed up and did this. The girl stumbled, had to pass the ball. I'm like, yo, she's a great defender.
Yeah.
And I started to notice like if you could pull up the numbers from like every game, everybody she matched up against, I guarantee you they didn't score over 15 points.
But I think all of that, the fact that she's close to MVP, the fact that she's close to Defensive Player of the Year, all of that is encompassed in being All WNBA.
So
that's why I think she should be first team.
No.
So that's why I would say first team Chelsea Gray and Nneka from the Sparks.
Yes.
And then if you want to add in other players, Vandersloot.
Yeah.
Definitely Deladon. Hands down. And then it's like, I don't know. Do you go with Jonquil Jones? Do you go with Howard? Do you go with Liz Cambage?
You probably gonna go with Griner.
You go with Griner. You go with DeWanna Bonner. Like, what do you do?
You probably go with Griner.
You probably go with Griner, but I think
Griner's leading the league in points. I
think outside of, if you say that Deladon, Nneka, or Deladon, Chelsea, and Nneka are locks for first team, I think the next two are questionable. But if you have to go with a guard, how do you overlook somebody who had 300 assists? How do you overlook Vandersloot, who almost averaged a double-double from the point guard position? Yeah. And not in like a points rebounds.
In 40 minutes.
Yeah. If you do that out to a couple more minutes, that's a double-double.
That's a double-double.
Right.
Yeah, that's a double-double. Easy. So, you probably have like 13 and 13.
Right.
If you like per 36 or something like that.
Do you think there are any other All WNBA players this year on the Sparks?
I I don't know if Candace gonna make it.
I don't think so.
I don't know
She didn't even make the All-Star team.
Yeah, I don't know if she gonna make it.
She didn't play enough.
Yeah, I don't know if she gonna make it. Now, when she's been out there, she's definitely been like all WNBA caliber, but I don't think she's gonna make it.
If the Sparks end up doing what they want to do, she could end up being Finals MVP.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, post All-Star break. If
I think she's been the best Spark post All-Star break. In my humble opinion, I think she's been the best Spark post the break.
Coach of the year. So
Fish.
A lot of people are going to say Washington Mystics, Tebow.
No.
Then there's going to people say James Wade. He turned them around, won 20 games.
Okay,
and then you got the idea of Fisher.
See, let me first...
Because they'll say Fisher, oh, well, the Sparks were so good, he should have won 22 games.
See, let me put up first my philosophy of like how I give out awards. For MVP, right? I usually don't think the MVP should ever come from the best team unless you did something so historic.
50, 40, 90.
Deladon, like did something that ain't nobody ever did before. No woman has ever had a 50, 40, 90 season in the WNBA. Give her that award. Like when Steph won 73-9, give him that award. You won 73 games, you did something historic, give him that award. Same thing with Coach of the Year. I don't think you should get Coach of the Year for having the best team.
Okay.
Like you know.
But they did win 26 games.
I understand
and
that.
they were blowing teams out.
I understand
rating out the wazoo.
Shout out you for being an innovator. That's one of the best WNBA teams of all time.
Shooting threes.
That's dope. But you didn't deal with my thing is who did more with less or who did almost as much with less. When you look at the job, I think Fish had the hardest job in the WNBA this year. You were on the road with 7 people and expected to win. And then you got to look. It's in LA. Fish didn't come here with the best stigma around him after he left, New York and had the Knicks job.
Right.
Then you come in the locker room. Okay, now the Sparks done traded for Neca's sister, so now that's you got 2 sisters in the locker room.
Right.
And,
so you're like, oh, you got to start. Gotta start Shanae. She's an all-star.
Exactly. Like it's not even the easiest situation to come into, and then you get bodies down to go through all of that, and at the end of the season be sitting in 3rd place off a 14-game home win streak is Derek Fisher. I always go again with who had to go through the most and still came out on top. That's how I give all my awards.
I respect that. No, I respect that. So, and I agree with you. I would like to see him win the award, but the way it's looking, it doesn't look like it.
Like I don't know why it's a question. Like I'm actually confused as to why people think it's a question.
# East Coast bias.
I'm legit confused.
I just told you why.
You win games with 7 people. You had your whole starting lineup that you actually signed, like your whole lineup that you actually signed. That when Penny this offseason said, "I want these people on the Sparks." When was the first time they debuted? August.
The starting 5?
No, like the actual team, the full team.
The full team
in August, with like 8 games left.
Less than that. They've only played 3 or 4 games with the full 12.
So
because then Neca went out.
So on game 30. On game 30.
Yeah, because if you were thinking the beginning of this season, you were probably thinking you were going to start Chelsea Gray, Elena Beard, Candace Parker, Neca, and Shanae. And if not them, then maybe TRP over Shanae. They did not have a chance to use that lineup. I think that
was the thought that everybody thought the lineup was going to be.
That's what everybody thought.
Was like, yo, like where's the shooting going to come from? Things like that.
Right.
I think that was the lineup that everybody thought was going to run.
Right. So since it looks like Sparks are probably only going to get on all WNBA for WNBA awards, if you had to give the same awards out on the team, who would you do? So team MVP.
Neca.
Yeah, no question. Neca. It's got to be her. Heart and soul of the team. Neca. Led the team through that stretch when they were down to 7 or 8 players, and
she's been the best defensive player and arguably the best scorer all year.
Constantly play like an all-star. We only got 2 rookies, but if you had to do rookie of the year on the Sparks, who would you do?
I'll probably say Kalani.
Okay.
Kalani. I just think that her being a body and her presence, she's frustrated like some quality bigs this year. She frustrated Liz. She frustrated Brittany Griner. Like she's frustrated some quality bigs this year. Right. So I had to go Kalani.
She hit her with that Willow Smith.
Yeah.
With that hair back and forth.
Yeah. So,
I just saw a replay of that. It was pretty long that game. Yeah. And but they made up, hugged it out.
Yeah.
And it's all good now. Defensive player of the year for the Sparks.
Yeah, good. I know you're going to say TRP.
I'm going to say TRP because she is the identity of the team. Derek Fisher has said it. Elena Beard has basically passed the torch to her, saying that if I had a vote for Defensive Player of the Year, it would be her. So I'm going to trust the current 2-time Defensive Player of the Year when she says, like, this is the person. I talked to TRP. She says, I consider Elena Beard a mentor. Mm-hmm. Elena told me to ask her if she considered herself a protege. So, like, they have that type of relationship where she has imparted as much of her wisdom as she can into her. Mm-hmm. And TRP has become a much better defender here. I mean, the fact that she picks up full court when she guards point guards, who does that? That's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Who does that?
Yes, it is. She's the most.
She fights through all of those screens.
She's the most. Her and Raquana are the most annoying defenders on the team.
Right.
But again, I'm
TRP is either guarding the point guard or the best perimeter offensive player. And in this league, the most talented players, not the most dominant, but the most talented players are perimeter players.
Yeah,
it's basketball.
Yeah, it's basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would give it to her.
That's fair. I'm going Necker.
Sixth woman of the year.
Sydney.
I would say Shanae.
I'm going Sydney.
I would say Shanae because I feel like Sydney was the most effective as a starter. We've seen Shanae have some big impacts coming off the bench.
See, I don't know about that because even if you look at the last 3 games, I think the leader in plus minus is
Shanae is a better starter than come off the bench, but I feel like she's had more of an impact off of the bench.
See, I'm gonna go Sydney though.
Okay.
Like I think I said this early in the season. Like when it comes to Sydney, her impact for the most part won't be shown through the regular stats. Mm-hmm. It'll be shown through plus minus.
Okay.
Like she almost for the most part, unless they got blown out, almost never has a negative plus minus.
Never.
Even if you look at like the last 3 games, I think she's had the highest plus minus, if not the highest, close to the highest every game.
To your point, against the Storm, 27 plus minus, Sydney Weiss, highest on the team. To your point again against the Lynx,
Chelsea Gray had higher, but she had 10.
Sydney had 10. Gray had 11. So, yeah.
So, I like Sydney just comes in the game and she brings.
I feel like Sydney is almost past being a bench player, though. I feel like she
should start.
I feel like she is a legit WNBA starter. I felt like when Raquana came back, that they could have kept the lineup the same. And Raquana could be doing what she's doing off the bench.
I think they should have, which is why I think they actually start slow sometimes because they have 2 people in the backcourt who kind of do the same things. Mm-hmm. Kind of. Especially when they use Candace as like the point guard and you kind of like slide Chelsea to the 2. Mm-hmm. That means you basically slide Raquana to like the 2. The 2.5. Okay. And they kind of both doing the same thing.
Well, I would definitely give Sydney most improved.
100%.
I don't think there's a question about 100%. That. You can't give it to rookies.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, as great as Chelsea Gray is and NECA and things like that, they're doing what they do.
Yeah, they doing what they should do. They get paid to go be all-stars.
Yeah, and I mean, coach of the year, they only got one head coach.
Derek Fisher.
Yeah, so I don't know,
He's been coach of the year in the entire league, and I would be disappointed if he isn't coach of the year.
Well, I think you better get
ready to be disappointed. I'm probably going to be disappointed. Yeah. I know I am, but
I think you better get ready to be disappointed.
He should win coach of the year. Again, I don't think you should get awards when you have the best team.
And they don't really give coach of the year to first-year coaches in the WNBA either.
That's another thing. First-year coach, and you sitting at third with all these injuries. It would have been very easy for first-year coach.
They don't care because Chelsea and NECA played almost every game.
Them 2 people out of a 12-person team.
Those are 2 all WNBA players. Those are 2 of the top 5 players in the league.
It's 2 people. It's still 2 people.
I know, and it's a team game, and I agree with you, but I just don't see how he wins it. I don't think he has the respect from the voting population across the league.
That's disrespectful.
I don't think they realize what has been happening out here in LA.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, shout out Washington. I understand, Washington looked
because they were winning those games. That's the thing. Maybe if they would have went 3 and 4, and then once they got everybody back, just went on a 15-game winning streak.
They were pulling out wins.
Then they would say like, "Oh yeah, they really had to go through some adversity." But the fact that they won during the adversity kind of lowers it from an outside perspective because they made it through.
That don't make sense. That don't make sense.
I know it doesn't make sense, but does it make sense? Kind of what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying?
I get it, but it don't make sense.
Yeah, it's like when I worked as a TV news reporter. So you have issues, right? You know, something may come up, your package may not export, things like that. But as long as I make slot, as long as I make deadline, that's all that matters. They don't care what I went through.
What you went through,
I made slot. I was supposed to be the lead reporter at 6:00. My stuff was in at 5:55, and I was standing there ready at 6:00. That's all that matters.
I get it. I just disagree with that line of thinking. Again, I'm always who did more with less. And if you look at my history, I usually think people vote the NBA MVP wrong. They usually give it to the best player on the best team. I don't know if you... I don't think unless you like Deladon this year. Deladon is first woman to have a 50, 40, 90 season. That is historic. You are the first.
Mm-hmm.
Get that lady that award.
Right.
But it shouldn't be unanimous. Nneka should get 2 votes.
But who is literally going to give her a first place vote over?
Probably nobody.
Yeah, she should get
somebody
first.
from LA.
I think
there's gonna be one writer from LA that's gonna be like Nneka.
I think
Nneka.
Elena Deladon has earned the right to get all of the first place votes.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if she got it.
I think she has.
She look at what she's done.
All of the first place votes. I think she has. But that still wouldn't technically be like unanimous because you still got like second and third place votes. Like she could be unanimous first place, but there'll still be like somebody who'll finish second and third.
Yeah, but that's unanimous MVP. If you finish if everything is you like first, that's unanimous.
Because it doesn't matter who comes in second and third.
Yeah, I remember when Shaq's unanimous MVP got messed up because somebody voted for AI. One person from Philly voted for AI. One person. Same thing happened to Braun. One person from New York voted for Melo.
Okay.
So one person from LA might vote for Nneka. She might get 1 vote.
I mean, I think one person from Seattle will probably vote for Natasha Howard. And I think there's one person from Connecticut who might vote for Jonquel Jones.
So one person.
If that's the case, I mean, there'd probably be one person from Dallas who vote for Enrique Ogunbowale.
Stop it.
Dallas Wings organization, Dallas Wings media, everybody in love with her.
I mean, no, look. I think she's a great player. I think she's gonna bring a lot of fans to the league. She's
definitely gonna make the All-Star team next year.
Nah. She's very, very fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to
she's
viewing,
a great player.
Yeah, when it comes to viewing pleasure, I would probably rather watch her over Nafisa.
Mm-hmm.
But also, when I'm looking at basketball, one person made the All-Star team. One person has also led league in minutes as a rookie. One person is also a pretty good defender, a very, very good defender.
Excellent.
And it's probably, I think she's asked to do more than what she is. Nafisa gets asked to play offense and defense.
I mean, Enrique had to play defense,
but come on. She don't be out there guarding 1 through 4 like
she can't because she's like 5'8".
There you go.
She can't. But
she guard her matchup and that's it, and then go score.
Yeah, but she scores.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all. So I think that's good. How you feel?
Feel great.
You feel like the Sparks have what it takes to win a second round game?
They should be fine.
That confident?
They should be fine.
Okay.
They should be fine.
Again, I agree. If they do what they do,
I don't want to see Phoenix, but they should be fine.
If the Sparks play like the Sparks, they should be able to get through the second round. And I think that's a good way to sum it up. All right, y'all. It's been the Spark Report. John W. Davis, Pavy.
Yep.
You good?
I'm good.
All right, y'all.
What are we naming this? What are we naming this one?
Peace. What? What you want to name it? I don't know. Let's come up with something.